ponder what I can do with this life of mine.
Who there? How have you fared?
Have you heard tell of an ox cart travelling the roads at night? Honestly, I follow every regulation to the letter and only travel during the day. Why can't others do the same?
There's been much talk on the street of this phantom ox cart that travels after sunset. But I've heard rather enough of it. Our hands are full enough as it is.
I shall lead us to our destination, so do try not to rush ahead.
The vanguard is yours. Lead on.
Here, if you please. Am I the first to notice we've all got different vocations?
'Tis a tad inconvenient that we can't share equipment.
I brought the number that you requested. I'll take it this'll be enough.
Aye, nicely done. Get in, you lot. Here's your payment.
Thank you kindly, sir. Ordinarily, coin like this would take me half a year to earn.
And I'll thank you to spend it wisely. Don't go drawing undue attention onto yourself, or that'll be the last you get. An ox cart travelling a night is suspicious enough in its own right, if 'twere known that I'm carrying pawns across the border.
I know, and I'll take care of it, I swear it. Contact me again when you've need of more cargo, won't you? What is it? I've done naught worth following me over. Hold, I beg you. I'll tell you what there is to know. I was approached by a battalion merchant I met at the border checkpoint. He offered me a coin in exchange for rounding up pawns. Aye, I know. Here in Vermont, there's nary a deed more abhorrent. But you have to understand, my gambling debts were like to drown me. I know not where they've been taken. Pray, believe me. Here, take this. 'Tis a document I got from that merchant. If word of this should reach the palace, I'd no doubt be disciplined. I might even lose my post. I'll give you all the gold I got today. So pray, I beg you, will you let me go? I swear I'll ne'er do aught like this again. I suppose 'twas too much to hope for. 'Tis all over for me now.
Many thanks. We'll take it from here, sir. Worry not, he'll receive his due soon enough. Till then, he'll be made comfortable in the dungeons.
You have my fullest confidence. Yes, Your Majesty? Ah, so you've encountered the Phantom Ox cart from the rumors. To be precise, the letter of the law does not forbid the abduction of pawns. However, in our sovereign-ruled kingdom, crude treatment of the pawns who so loyally serve our liege is if one were to sell them for personal gain, they would doubtless be censured no matter their station. And this letter, by its make and the quality of the parchment, I can only surmise 'tis of the like used in the palace. we ought to assume a member of the court has a hand in this matter. But for what purpose are these pawns being gathered? And where are they being taken? I have a proposal, Your Majesty. Should we ascertain the pawn's destination, perchance we will discover the intent behind this plot. Yet if we question the driver haphazardly, this mission will be over before it begins. I bid Your Majesty follow the ox cart without arousing suspicion, that you might divine where it is headed. Alternatively, mayhap Your Majesty could assume the guise of a pawn and await pickup in a likely location. I leave the choice to Your Majesty's discretion.
What's this? Only pawns? What's that dullard playing at? Suppose it's all the same. The cargo's all I need to get the job done. In you get then.
Arisen. I knew you loved this world too much to leave it behind.
Oh, it's cold out. Fie, I'm tired. Empty. Forgot to buy more drink. Could do with a proper meal. What was that? Fie. Now I'm jumping at shadows. We're under attack! Don't just stand there! Protect the cart! Drive the fiends back!
See you, Master.
What's the hold up? Get in! How fare my fine passengers this evening? Don't know why I'm asking. You never answer. Suppose you'll just have to listen then. You pawns are a queer lot. They say you'll do whatever the Arisen says. You offer no complaint or quarrel, and you're undying to boot. You're well suited as slaves, if you ask me. Truth be told, I've lost count of how many of you I've transported these past few days. Still not the faintest idea what they do here, or where they take you after I drop you off. I've ne'er seen one of you return. That says a lot. As some would tell it, you're serving as targets for new recruits undergoing spear training. Others say your lifeblood is squeezed out like juice from a grape to be offered to the Empress of Batal. Did that scare you, Haven, the mind? It was all in jest. It's not like I know the truth of it anyhow. Not like I care either. As long as I get my coin, I'm a happy man. I'm not fussed what happens to me.
you know how long you'll be? I only asked so that I might adopt the most effective stance to recuperate my strength.
Halt! We're inspecting your cargo. Open up.
I hear they follow whatever command they're given.
Aye, and they'll take any beating without a word of complaint. Let's see for ourselves. Sorry, my hand.
How'd you like that?
Built rather tough, eh?
You going to fight back?
They may be undying, but they do seem
Ha!
to know.
They're just taking it.
Got to rest my legs.
What a bore! It is like hitting
That's
a
it.
stump.
Enough! That's valuable merchandise you're toying with. Worth more than your wages combined. Have you prepared the cargo we're to carry alongside them? No? Well, get a move on. We're off.
On your knees, worthless vessels.
Times such as these call for careful examination of one's surroundings.
Wait, you're not a pawn. We've an intruder in our midst. To arms!
As planned. I suppose you think you can afford to be reckless, so long as I'm here to heal you. Hold just a moment.
A battle avoided is a battle won, I suppose.
Little does our foe realise how narrowly they escaped death's touch.
You don't say.
Welcome to the Star Drop. We serve all manner of fine ales here. What a delight. Fine wares all.
Whatever it is, I'll have to hear it another time.
You have my fullest confidence. Has there been some development, Your Majesty? Well now, you have divined the Oxcart's destination then. I see. So they were procuring pawns in order to carry out this excavation. The staff you mention is most curious. It sounds as if 'tis of the same make as the jewel wielded by the Queen Regent's puppet. I had heard pawns face much prejudice in Batal. Yet to hear that they are treated as tools to be discarded, and given such perilous tasks, 'tis contemptible indeed. Volcanic Island has long been part of Batal's territory. The lake of lava present there is revered for its flames, which are perhaps 'twould be considered blasphemy to give such work to their own. Or could this simply be a means of testing the efficacy of these jewels that allow for the control of pawns? I can offer naught but conjecture. For now, we ought to aim our efforts towards proving that a member of the Vermundian court has been selling pawns. Should we succeed, even the Queen Regent herself could not deflect the people's displeasure. You have my gratitude, Your Majesty. The evidence you have gathered shall form the stalwart pillar upon which our rightful claim will rest. 'Tis most valuable, so pray exercise the utmost care when deciding how it ought be used.
At last! The score is settled! In the world before this, we failed to incriminate the Queen Regent, you see.
A resounding success. And here I thought I was leading the way. But I suppose your whims take precedence.
Perhaps the Arisen has recalled some more pressing business. Fret not. I'm sure we'll come back to this eventually.
Oh, it's not right. It doesn't make any sort of sense. The doctor examined him afore and said he'd be better with a bit of medicine. Yet e'er since he came here, he's only gotten worse.
I understand how you must feel. But you must see that your son's health continues to wane. There is no medicine that can heal him outright. He requires proper treatment. I am caring for him as best I can. I beg only for your patience. However, if you truly cannot entrust him to me, perhaps you would care to take him home with you instead. Mayhap convalescing in a place familiar to him would aid his recovery. Of course, I would be sure to visit him as oft as I am able.
Home, you say?
Dear, we are pressed enough as 'tis.
All right, he stays. But pray bring my son back to health.
I will look after him. I swear it.
That woman's taking advantage of us, she is. She knows full well we've nowhere else to turn.
Will he truly be all right?
Sir, ought you not be in... Ah, forgive me. You're not a patient, are you? 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Eleanor. I regret that I cannot offer you a cup of tea, but I'm in the middle of making my rounds of the patients. Not to mention, I have to find the means to procure more medicinal ingredients. Oh. You wouldn't happen to know someone willing to brave the roads, would you? I know 'tis perilous, but there is one ingredient in particular we cannot afford to run out of. You would procure it yourself? I am grateful beyond words, sir. In that case, might I trouble you to bring me some miasmite? The slums are a bane to the body's humors, and its residents are oft prone to illness. We do what we can with what little we have, but we're always short on helping hands. Your aid is most appreciated, sir. May your search prove fruitful. Yes, sir. Have you procured what I asked? Splendid. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Ah, but in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only, If you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? As servants of the gracious hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived. An unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man claiming to be a doctor. Yet, the family had not the money for the medicine he required. So, he was put into our care. Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Pray, stay as long as you wish. Come, come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there. Help me. Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself up. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... Gah... Something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me.
I wish life was nothing but the good things.
This is a place of prayer. Do keep your voice low.
I spend my days in quiet reflection.
I fear I've much to attend to.
Each of our patients deserves our full attention. Would that we had more hands to aid us.
My prayers will surely...
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? He's seen better days, hasn't he? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Teles, she gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. Which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeared for them. I do hope naught befalls Lubomir. I should like to see him walk out of here in good health.
I wish life was nothing but...
So, the worst of us are taken to the basement. Mayhap that's the source of the queer voices I hear at night. And none save the abbess can enter? If the Gracious Hand has a secret, 'tis the abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. You've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the Sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. If you apprehend the Abbess, they'll know to come and arrest her. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
Aught about this reeks of a plot. Let us gather evidence that we might expose it.
It's no great shock to me.
I fear I've much to attend.
I have noticed that the Abbess goes out every night without fail. Perhaps you could wait for her to leave and slip into the basement sick room then.
I wish life was nothing but the pursuit of medicine? Medicine! Medicine! Now! Now! Now!
Oh, someone help me. Jahan? Bruno, where have you gone?
Mayhap 'twould serve us well to track down the former patients mentioned in these records of treatment.
I suppose 'tis so.
You're back! Pray, tell me, have you found anything? What? You found a medicine used only in the basement sick room? I don't like the sound of that. Do you think... Could I trouble you to look into this as well? Mayhap you could show it to the doctor I saw before coming here. Radcliffe, his name was. He's staying in the rest town. Pray, sir, do what you can. I must know.
Methinks we would do well to bring this medicine to Sir Radcliffe, the doctor over in the rest town.
You're back! Pray, tell me, have you found anything? These look like records of treatment. Jahan and Bruno. I know these two. They left here not long ago, fit as a pair of fiddles. I recall them being especially meek to the Abbess. Mayhap that's what got them out safely. At any rate, they may know aught of use. Loath as I am to ask more of you, perhaps you would speak to them in my stead?
perfect spot for a kid. What teachings might salve the people's woes? Just remember. I've somewhere.
Time to earn me some...
Aye? In need of a doctor, are you? What's this you're giving me? Oh, I see. You want me to run some sort of test on this? Determine what manner of substance 'tis? Interesting. Well, you've certainly piqued my curiosity. But naturally, I'll need a bit of time with it. Come back again in... oh, I don't know. Later. All this drudgery is beneath me. Gotta crack a few skulls. Too many undervalued importance of rest. Ah, there you are. You've come at a good time. I've just finished running those tests. I must ask, where did you acquire that concoction? 'Tis a fell thing you got there. To be plain, 'tis more poison than physic. It has the potential to heal one's ailments, certainly. But only if they could survive long enough, which isn't likely. Worse still, it has addictive properties that are likely to cause the patient to become dependent on its deadly effects. I say patient, but I should hope whoever made this did not intend it as a method of treatment. You'd have to be well and truly mad to attempt such a thing.
We've arrived well enough. Where to next?
Well met, sir. Dave's
I'm dead on my feet, but I've much to do yet.
It was a fascinating tale those soldiers outside the palace were discussing.
Oh, did it pertain to the Queen Regent and an important personage, perchance?
Aye. Tell us, her ties to this figure from the neighbouring country have a romantic tint.
Here.
Aye, this is plenty. Lord Phaesus is like to be in your debt. Nicely done. Suppose it can't have been easy to procure this much so quickly.
You suppose wrong. I command their full faith. 'Tis simple for me to extract what I require.
Ha! You're a fearsome one. Here's hoping I ne'er end up in your care.
Enough. I gave you yours, now you give me mine. I'd not be seen here with you.
Ah, of course. Wouldn't want to hurt the Lady Saint's image in the eyes of the common folk, would we? Here's...
Glad we understand each other. Till next time.
Aye, be seeing you.
Lord Phaesus. 'Tis a name of great import. Of that I'm certain.
How very peculiar.
Might I beg but a moment of your time?
all this quiet makes me itch to cause a stir.
Gathering materials makes for dull work indeed.
Elena? Ah, yes. The Abbess of the Gracious Hand. A fine woman by all accounts. I was in her care once myself. But I must admit, I've always felt there's something off about her. You see, I was only a little under the weather when I entered her care. But then I started getting sicker and sicker till I was certain death would come for me. In the end, I survived, but methinks I was one of the lucky few. And once, I saw her, the Abbess, meeting with a strange man. She handed him a large parcel, all wrapped up. and he gave her something small in return. You'd think 'twere medicine, but I'd not have bought medicine from a man like that. They were whispering, but I did hear one of them say aught about keeping quiet. 'Tis well suspicious, eh? Where'd they meet? 'Twas in the square in the eastern part of the common quarter, and always a night, as I recall.
Lady Eleanor's a goodly person, a saint-like. Her earnest care saw me back to full health. I wavered between life and death for quite some time in that basement sick room, and she watched o'er me through it all, bless her. Can't say as I miss that basement, mind. 'Tis an eerie place, dark and shadowy, filled with the moaning of the sick. Suppose 'tis only to be expected, given the state of those assembled. I'm sure I was moaning too.
I didn't tell half as many lies as my parents.
This place cheers.
Is there aught I can help you with, sir? Oh, if you're looking for Lubomir, his condition deteriorated to the point that he had to be moved to the basement sick room. He's not allowed visitors, I'm afraid, not even family. Even we're not allowed to go see him. No need to worry, though. The Abbess is tending to him personally. She'll nurse him back to full health, I'm sure of it.
My prayers will surely be rewarded in the hereafter.
I fear I've much to attend to.
The patients in this room must not be disturbed. Leave this place at once. What are you doing? Unhand me this instant.
Many thanks for your assistance in this matter. Elena is being questioned as we speak. Suffice to say, your testimony, combined with the evidence you've procured, have cast a great deal of suspicion upon the Abbess that she isn't like to shake. Pray have this, sir. 'Tis your reward for aiding us in our duty to this city. Many thanks for your assistance in this matter.
I heard from Captain Brandt that you plan to make for Batal in order to continue your investigation. As for me, I've been looking into my mother's movements since last we met, and I happen upon this. 'Tis a letter she discarded, only half written. It seems to be addressed to someone called Phaesus. I passed an eye over it, though I failed to grasp its meaning, or what compelled her to throw it away. Here. I thought it best that you have it. Mayhap you could glean aught from it that I could not. And if you do, would you be so kind as to share it with me? That is, only if you've the time to spare. I am in no position to make demands, of course.
Days like this make me glad to be alive, but not at
This place still has its secrets. Surely it isn't your intention to leave them undiscovered, Master?
Quite right. No sense doing things by halves.
What is it? Have you brought me something to sate my unquenchable thirst for knowledge? A book, perchance? No, a letter, is it? Let's but know that tonight the moon shall again be shrouded in a veil of gossamer clouds, awaiting the return of the sun's warming glow. Well, well. I'd not put Disa the capacity for such refinement. 'Tis a love letter of a sort. One that draws on ancient symbolism to convey its message. The moon represents a woman, the sun, a man. Put simply, what this letter means to communicate is, I miss you. Ha! A surprisingly saccharine sentiment coming from the Queen Regent. Would you not agree? I know not who this Phasus is, though 'tis safe to say that Disa is rather invested in him. What concerns me is this godsway mentioned in the first line. If we can take this letter at its word, and 'twas indeed granted to the Queen Regent, we can surmise that it must be something tangible. Not as to what manner of object, however, I can only begin to guess. And I'm not one for pointless conjecture. Oh, on the hunt for the grimoire entitled Towering Earth, are you? One moment. Here it is. Towering Earth, the Forsaken Text. You may take it. I can cast no magics myself, after all. Left in my care, 'tis as a pearl before swine. Not to mention, I've already read it. With the aid of Sir Kendrick and his helper in locating certain documents, I believe I finally grasped the true nature of this place. 'Twas a royal library that was sealed off by a sovereign of some generations past. In a bid to pass the throne on to his own descendants, this sovereign attempted to consign our kingdom's histories to oblivion. Alas, 'twould seem that, no matter the age, the avarice of those in power is all but guaranteed. Yet 'tis clear it serves them not. Almost laughably so. The sovereign's line ultimately fell to ruin, and now this library, so laboriously sealed, has been discovered. What can we learn from this? Those who make light of history are doomed to be crushed under its heel. Fine timing, sir. Fine timing indeed. My time in that tenebrous jail has only hastened the deterioration of my eyesight. I stare at the page, but the letters stubbornly refuse to take shape. Alas, they were confiscated at the time of my imprisonment. As I recall, prisoners' possessions are held within the palace storeroom. It is a place to which few have lawful access, as I'm sure you can imagine. Though, as I hear it, masquerades are being held of late. Masquerades with a great many attendees, if you can. Should you happen to enter the venue, mayhap you would find an opportunity to liberate my poor spectacles. What say you? Would you consider doing an old man a favor? I am in your debt. With those spectacles in hand, I might actually get through one of my tomes. Pray, infiltrate the venue and find the storeroom. You are my only hope.
for one such as me.
Are we leaving already? Have no fear, Master. I'll fare all right without you for a little while.
First assess the field, then act accordingly.
Ah, we meet again. Is there aught I can assist you with? What would you have me say, showing me such a letter? Oh, I see. You know of Lord Phasus, then. Very well. I shall share with you what little I know. Lord Phasus is the director of the Forbidden Magic Research Lab. 'Tis true that I have had dealings with him in the past, but I was ne'er privy to more than that. Even in Batal, few people know of his existence. To a Vermundian such as myself, the man is an enigma. If you would know more, why not visit the lab yourself? Such an errand ought prove simple for the Arisen, no? You. I wonder how you must feel, having locked me away in this dismal place. Do you think yourself just? If so, you are sorely mistaken. There are many in this world who require salvation. I merely borrowed the aid of those who could offer it. Just as there are theories that may only be tested on living flesh, so are mortal bodies the sole source of certain materials. And, whatever you may think, all lives are not made equal. 'Tis that the sickly folk of the slums are fated to die, to waste away till death grants them its mercy. I merely gave their deaths a greater purpose. If anything, I deserve your praise, not this awful cell. However hard you press, there's naught more I can share with you about the Forbidden Magic Research Lab. If you seek more information, why not visit the place yourself?
I wasn't worried for a moment. Wherever you go, we pawns will always find you, Arisen. And here we are, in the blink of an eye. Shall we take stock of our surroundings?
All seems well here, but you can never be sure.
What was the missive that just arrived?
Oh, you know. The usual. From Vermund, bound straight for the archives. Not to be opened.
Another one? What is the director up to? Well, never mind that. Did we get any other deliveries today, perchance?
Surely you're not expecting another one of your love letters. Why, just the other day, you were warned not to use this address for personal correspondences. You really mustn't be so imprudent. Need I remind you that if word of our activities here was to get out, we could be shut down.
Yes, yes, I'm well aware of that, thank you. Now come, enough gossiping. We've work to be getting on with.
I'll not have you interfering with my work.
Why is Vermont funding our research? What do they have to gain from it?
I don't know. Truth be told, I've ne'er asked. But I heard a rumor that 'tis all part of a plot to put the prince, though I suppose he's the regent kin o'er there, on the throne.
What? Where did he hear that rubbish? How's what we're doing here bear any relation to a scheme like that?
'Tis only what I heard, but you're quite right, it doesn't make much sense. I suppose 'tis a rumor best ignored, after all.
I do wonder what the director's plotting, but... frankly...
Not much going on hereabouts.
If you've naught to say, I'd best be going.
Glad I am to see you well. I've been wondering how you were getting on. Have you learned aught of the intent behind that letter? 'Twould seem my mother has joined hands with a Batali researcher to achieve her purpose. Which, according to this missive, is to arrange things so that I might rule the kingdom. But I don't understand. Vermont needs no consul. It's found its ruler, its sovereign, pretender though he may be. To say naught of you, does she mean to remove you and the false sovereign both from the picture? Is that what is meant by this tragedy? 'Tis a frightful thought, yet we are in a much stronger position for having learned of it. You've my... Pray, take care if you travel to Batal.
We shall wait here till your business is done.
I'd sooner stay out of battle where it possible.
Better here than on the battlefield, I suppose.
Always a
Sometimes I wonder if I'm...
Ah, you've returned. Oh, my spectacles. Well done, sir. With these, I shall have no need to fear any letters, be they small or faintly scrawled. I shall learn aught I can, that the day might come when I can repay this debt I owe you. Many, many thanks. Take this as a token of my gratitude. Whence did Disa procure her puppet sovereign?
Follow me, then. Unless you doubt my sense of direction.
I must confess, I'm rather lost.
Look as long as you please.
Dear, that's the wrong one.
Ah, apologies. Thank you, my darling. Fie. My vision's growing worse by the day, I fear. Methinks it began when I started reading an old grimoire I found whilst tidying the storeroom. 'Tis entitled, On the Transference of Souls. A curious tome, this. It claims to grant the reader the power to summon things from beyond the rift. I thought I might use it to stock my shelves with otherworldly wares. Perhaps you will think me simple, but truly all I want is a better life for my wife and daughter. Yet 'tis most vexing, for the moment I start reading the tome, 'tis as if a fog descends over my eyes. But mayhap there is hope for me yet, if I can get my hands on a quince. They're said to reduce fatigue of the eyes. Would you be kind enough to procure one for me? I must keep reading that grimoire.
I've heard quince is a native to Batal. Shall we see if we can't find some?
Have you brought me a quince? Many thanks, sir. At last, I may continue reading that grimoire. This could be the turning point in my family's fortune.
'Twould behoove us not to fall too far behind our guide.
Look as long as you please. Do come again.
Did you want something? I've some.
Well met, sir. You'll be glad to know that I finally finished my reading of that grimoire we spoke of. Which brings me to a curious point. There's a favor I'd ask of you. What happened to my eye? Oh, never mind the bandage. 'Tis nothing serious. Now, as I was saying, I'd like for you to find the grimoire's second volume for me. 'Twould seem 'tis part of a set, and will only reveal its true power when both tomes are in hand. The copy I've heard tell that its twin can be found in a queer little shop in Vermont. Alas, passing through the border checkpoint is no simple matter for a humble merchant like myself. But you, sir, I dare say you are not of Batal. Then you ought have no trouble passing through the checkpoint. I implore you, find that second volume for me. All I want is to give my family a decent life, the life they deserve. This is my chance to provide for them as I ne'er have.
A queer little shop in Vermont, is it? I wonder which of the shops in Vermont matches that description.
Mother, quick! Over here! Beg pardon, sir, but I must ask you to stop aiding my husband. He lost his eye while reading that grimoire. His eye! I can't bear to see him involved with that fell thing anymore. But he refuses to listen to me.
He's been saying not to worry, that he'll make us more money soon. 'Tis as if he's lost his mind how much he repeats it. 'Tis all my fault, Mother. He's only been like this since I said I wished we had an easier life.
No, 'tisn't, dear, and don't you fret. Your father, he'll be back to his old self before you know it. Pray, sir, seek out that grimoire if you must, but do not give it to my husband. I beg of you.
Ought we to give Sir Isaac the grimoire as he requested? 'Tis a quandary indeed.
Is there nothing to be done? And here we are, in the blink of an eye. Shall we take stock of our surroundings?
Welcome, sir. If you think me a liar, then buy something and see the truth for yourself. Ah, I see you desire one of my masterpieces. Very well. I shall have your order crafted in good time, A little patience is all I ask. Many thanks to you. Back's not acting up today. Welcome, sir. If you think me a liar, then buy something and the item you requested is complete. Here you are, sir. Many thanks to you.
I cannot imagine what purpose this forgery might serve, but mayhap it will become clear in time.
Greetings, Sir Arisen. Have you found the second volume of On the Transference of Souls, perchance? Fortune smiles upon me at last. With this, my shop's prosperity is all but assured. Thank you, Sir Arisen. Oh, thank you. Perhaps you'd care to join me. Come, bear witness to this momentous occasion.
Shall we follow, Master?
This is it. This is the moment I've been preparing for.
Dear, is this truly safe? I'm afeard of what's to come.
Have faith, my darling. All is well. You need only stand there and watch.
Father, you don't need to do this. I'm happy with our life as 'tis now.
'Tis good to hear you say that, my daughter. But I've come too far. I must see this through. I believe I need only... Ha! Did I? Did I do it? A failure, then. Ah, well. I suppose our fortunes were ne'er likely to turn so easily. I've learned my lesson. No more of this grimoire nonsense for me. I'll settle for being a humble apothecary after all. My dears, can you forgive me for my foolishness?
Oh, Isaac.
You two had the right of it all along. I ne'er should have chased after a silly dream like this.
Father, I shouldn't have complained. I know you do your best for us. You always have.
Enough of that now. You've naught to apologize for. 'Tis a father's duty to provide for his children. You have my gratitude, Sir Arisen. Though I failed in my quest, I've learnt much. And from this moment forth, I'll be focusing my energies on naught but my trade. I hope I can count on your continued patronage, sir.
A forgery. Of course. Had my master and I only known.
If you're sure.
When all's said and done, I'm quite glad my experiment failed. Though I wish I knew why it did. Alas, such things are best forgotten. In fact, methinks you ought take this grimoire off my hands, sir. No sense in my holding on to it. When all's said and done, alas, such things are best...
My husband has returned to work with renewed vigor. 'Tis good to have him back to his old self. He'll have all the support we can give. We're family.
I wonder if we would have been wealthy had the experiment succeeded. Suppose it could have gone either way, really. Mayhap I should just be grateful nothing untoward came of it.
How might I be of service? The world's changing. Not.
I have no issue falling asleep.
Our adventure continues.
Off we go then.
Look as long as you please. The state of things makes my lot rather... Do come again! Look as long as you please. How intriguing.
Should happen to shake things up.
Seems there's no room for argument here. I shall obey, but I won't pretend I'm happy about it. Do you know how long you'll be? I only asked so that I might adopt the most effective stance to recuperate my strength.
Whate'er hardships we face, we have little choice but to live on. Such as... I'm afraid I'm not here to listen to your troubles. My thanks. You know, many of our patrons wish to take me for themselves. Yet there is something different about you. I lived a simpler life once. But one man changed all that. 'Tis no simple matter for a woman to make it this far on her lonesome. Here I am. 'Tis no simple here I am.
Good to see you, Master.
There are one or two places of interest nearby.
Do take care on the road, sir.
You shan't hear me complain.
Look as long as you please.
My sincerest apologies. Lady Wilhelmina is attending to a patron at present.
Have you given the matter some more thought, Wilhelmina? I would have no other as my personal courtesan. I want you all to myself. When I imagine you in the arms of another, my heart feels apt to rend itself from my breast.
Allard, pray forgive me, but I think 'twould be best for you to leave. We can discuss this matter another time.
But why? We've only just...
I am attending to a burden that all women must bear. I trust I need not elaborate further. I did not take you for the voyeuristic type. Why don't you come in? You have my thanks. Had I not noticed your presence, I might have slain him there and then. 'Tis no jest. You see, everything I've done these past few years has been leading up to this. But I cannot simply end his life. Oh no. I must first expose his misdeeds. Only then will I allow myself to grant him the miserable end he deserves. Or so I'd sworn, but I've yet to find a single shred of evidence. Perhaps the time has come to surrender this crusade. You would lend me your aid. But I've done nary a thing to earn it. And recall that I've devoted years of my life to his pursuit, with naught to show for my troubles. If the proof I seek yet exists, 'twill not be so easily uncovered. I suppose there is truly naught I can do, save deliver him a gruesome demise for all to behold, that is. Still, if you insist upon searching for evidence of his crimes, 3 days. I will give you 3 days to find what you seek. I shall wait patiently, though not with bated breath.
Is this where you've been all this time? 'Tis rather far from where we agreed to meet up.
Our party is reunited. Surely we can ask for no more than that.
You wish to expose Allard's misdeeds. I know not whether I can assist you in this, friend. Ah, but of course, Patrick may know aught that could aid you. Go to his manor come nightfall. If you say you are in my employ, you should be allowed entry with no issue.
Such quiet. Best oil my equipment. All of the chance.
When does my watch?
Minister Allard is a noble, yes? Do we know of anyone privy to the goings-on in the palace? Regent King Sven has been busy, it seems. Shall we meet with Lord Patrick come nightfall? I know where that person can be found, Master. This way.
Well, if you insist. I'm only glad I don't have to lead the way for a change.
Allard. Long have I borne witness to the man's arrogance, and long has it infuriated me. I visited his manor once. I recall that he was rather particular about the placement of his paintings. Mayhap he's concealed aught behind one. 'Tis just the sort of thing one would expect from a man who places so much stock in appearances. Shall I summon him here? You could make use of his absence to steal into his manor and inspect his art collection. Excellent. I will send word to him presently of some urgent matter that requires his intervention. Once you've seen him depart his manor, make your way inside and stay alert. We may not get a second chance at this.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
I'd say we collect as much as we can carry.
Who are you supposed to be? Have you some business with me? If there's aught you have to say, then say it. I am a busy man. Away with you, then. Believe me when I say you do not want to provoke me.
I've little enough gold to spend this days.
We've obtained a solid piece of evidence. Is this a challenge arisen to see who can keep pace? That's one piece of evidence in hand. We might search for more if you were so inclined, Master.
It is no great shock to me.
You have my fullest confidence. You have my gratitude, Your Majesty. The evidence you have gathered shall form the stalwart pillar upon which 'tis most valuable. So pray, exercise the utmost care when deciding how it ought be used. Is there aught else you would speak of, Your Majesty? To think that the proprietress of the Myrmecolian was plotting such a thing. Under normal circumstances, I would not overlook such a clear admission of murderous intent. But this is Allard we speak of. Of all the Queen Regent's sycophants, he possesses the greatest authority. His fall from grace would do much to further our cause. But where to find the evidence we seek? Perhaps the merchants he deals with possess aught that could serve us. Merchants with connections to Allard will reside in the merchant quarter, though they're not likely to divulge their secrets readily. Some piece of physical evidence would be far less easily refuted than mere testimony, I should think. Interesting. So Allard has been leveraging his position to line his pockets. Right on. I doubt she will be happy to learn of this. Yes, this should be more than enough to disgrace him. However, 'tis not enough for me to condone his assassination. Of course. If your intent is not to kill him, but merely denounce him, then I will gladly assist you however I can. Understood. Then pray. Take this evidence you've discovered and make for the Myrmecolian, Your Majesty.
So, the captain is willing to aid you only if you do not
You have my fullest confidence. Pray, take the evidence to the Myrmecolian. We must prevent the exacting of any rash judgments. This is a memorandum of Allard's. According to this, afore attaining his current status, he was in the employ of a merchant. And in order to claim the merchant's property as his own, he murdered the man and his wife, staging it as an accident. It is a grave affair indeed. Should this article prove genuine, I have every faith 'twould be sufficient to condemn him for all time. The deed was monstrous, and yet, considering my position, I am afraid I cannot condone the man's assassination. I know not the path I should follow. What is your intent going forward, Your Majesty? Very well. I would place my faith in you, Your Majesty. However, know that should he be assassinated, I cannot offer you my aid. Now, pray bear the evidence you've discovered to the Myrmecolian. I will do everything in my power to assist you.
I find any turn.
We've arrived well enough. Where to next? Have no fear, Master. I'll fare all right without you for a little while.
I suppose all we can do is wait.
So, you've returned. I confess, I thought you might not. I was ready to settle things myself. Well, did you find what you were looking for? Thank you. I can't believe you found this. All that remains is to end that man's life with my own hands. I've no other tasks for you. This partnership of ours has come to a close. Unless you intend to see this through till the end. You're a curious one, aren't you? But what's just as curious is that I can't bring myself to refuse you. All right, if you're offering your aid, then I'll gladly accept it. Come with me. Allard is in the room to the left. Go in and restrain him for me, would you? Never mind the mask. Consider it a charm of sorts.
At last. It feels like an age has passed since... What is this? Who are you?
Don't let him escape.
Do not waste my time on the laity.
Will this take long? I'm terribly busy.
Get your hands off me, you fiend! Don't you know who I am? Oh, you hang for this impudence!
Oh, Allard. I've always wanted to see you like this.
That voice... Wilhelmina! But why? Why would you...
Do you still fail to recall? Even with this mask staring you in the face. But I suppose for a man such as you, a little murder here or there is hardly worth remembering.
What mockery is this?
In your youth, you slew 2 individuals. The merchant whom you served, and his wife. They had a child, as I am sure you are aware. A newborn babe who was spirited away by her loyal wet nurse.
You mean to tell me You were their child? But how can this be? Your mother, she was a beastren. Surely her child would be one as well.
Fair assumption. But for better or worse, I didn't take after my mother. Save for in one respect. This is for my mother. And this is for my father. The time has come for all your sins to come to light, Allard.
Mr. Allard, has something happened?
We've been noticed. I suppose a scream that hideous was bound to attract some attention. We can't leave the way we came in. Fortunately, there's a window here.
You have done what you set out to do, I trust. Well, then come, Master. Let us quit this place.
I was afraid I might find you here. I cannot believe you would stoop to such... No. This is not the time. You will be able to slip out the rear entrance. Follow me, and quickly.
That was certainly well handled. I suppose I ought not to have expected any less. Pray, visit me at the Myrmecolian tomorrow evening. I'll prepare aught by way of thanks. Till then, be well.
I must be Richmond. The townspeople did it.
Near enough. Raven never put gold in my pocket.
Oh, I don't need this right now.
Always another errand to see to.
Places such as this depend upon my vigilance.
There's naught I love more than a saucy rumor.
I cannot believe it. You killed Allard. You realize this could jeopardize our plans for your ascension. I will do what I can to obscure your involvement in this matter. However, bear in mind that you may have to shoulder the burden of your own heedlessness in future.
Perhaps you might... Do take care on the road, sir. These are dangerous...
I have no issue falling as...
I can't tell you how I suffered at the hands of golems in that other world. I hope I shan't see another for some time. Are we to depart at this hour? I cannot see why we should choose to stumble around in the dark.
Do you know how long you'll be? I only asked so that I might adopt the most effective stance to recuperate my strength.
Thank you. I finally achieved my purpose here, and I owe it all to you. 'Twould seem the residents of the palace have chosen to treat Allard's untimely passing as an accident. I imagine they deemed it safer not to make a fuss of the incident after perusing the evidence you uncovered for me. Shrewd as a den of foxes. I'll give them that. I truly cannot thank you enough. But just this once, I'll give you something special. I'll grant unto you the sweetest of dreams. I know not what I would do without you. You have my thanks, but 'tis time to say farewell for now. Just know that my bordlery will e'er be your haven, should you have need of it.
Here, if you please.
There are one or two places of interest nearby. I could tell you more about them if you like, Master.
You've my gratitude. I dare say our flight wouldn't have gone half as well without your aid.
I heard what transpired. Thank you for fighting on my people's behalf. You cannot imagine my relief when I beheld that everyone had made it out unharmed. Say, would you visit me again once night has fallen? There's aught I would show you.
Can I interest you in a room, sir?
You shan't hear me complain about an early
Night time already? I thought it was rather dark.
Step lively. Journey by starlight shall make for a nice change of pace.
You've come. Glad I am to see you. Follow me. Tis a strange thing. I ne'er knew how vast the sky was, till I left Mel behind. Time and again you have come to my aid. Would that I could repay you in some way. Alas, there is little I have to offer. Yet, if your heart e'er aches for a place to call home, then may this village... No, not the village. If e'er you're in need of a hearth to return to, then let it be mine. Whate'er trials we may face, I shall see this village and its people safely through them all.